Hello, everyone. I'm Chester44, also known as Fly, and welcome to this Let's Play of Wrath of the Righteous. Last episode, we managed to save a bunch of knights and a guy by the name of the Storyteller from, well, being burned by a bunch of, well, cultists. And brought them back to the tavern. And when we did, we also spoke with Sela and her companions and learned a little bit about them. They asked for our help with something which we will help with soon. Now that we're back at base, we need to take care of some management of our party and everything. For starters, we have Nenio here. And Nenio, as a wizard, is, just like I did with Woljif, is able to learn spells from scrolls and add them to her repertoire. So, if it has a little quill on it like that, she can learn it. Let's see. And 2 more here. It's best to do this before doing the level up, which we are about to do. And I am going to need to move all these things down here so that I can get this at the bottom. I will reorganize things more soon. Yeah, that'll do for now. We'll fix things later. Anyway, level ups for our new companions. First up, we have Nenio, a wizard. Scroll savant, specifically. That is perfectly fine. Gains a point in intelligence. The skills there. Actually, I am going to change this. I'd rather buff up religion. Use magic device isn't the most important, in my opinion. As for spells, we're getting some level 2 spells. Currently, she has a bunch of level 1s. Let's go with level 2s. I guess she can learn level 1s as well, but I don't want to go with those. Let's see. She is an illusionist. That's her specialization, so any illusion spells help her out a lot. An illusion of misty vapor. Attacks made in the mist or against anything in the mist must contend with total concealment. All creatures within must save or take 1d2 points of wisdom damage and become shaken. I don't think... At first I thought, ooh, anyone in the mist has total concealment. Or against anything in the mist has total concealment. That would be good on my own allies to protect them, but no, the wisdom damage and shaken, that's horrible. Invisibility, I guess we can have it, and... I mean, Stone Call is amusingly interesting. It's a huge area. Mortal Terror, I'm not gonna go for... Not gonna get any of these, they're useless. Acid Arrow actually is a decent thing to have as an attack ability. So, I'll go ahead and take that. And we also have Daeran. He's an oracle. Think cleric, but charisma caster. Like sorcerer. He can get charisma, he can get the benefits there. And as for the spell he's going to take, as a level 2 caster, cure moderate wounds. I don't know why it says he won't have it. But he should have it. Why is it not recommended? It's weird. Definitely going to take cure moderate wounds. Every healer will have this. Hold on. Character... So he has lesser he will get lesser restoration and regular restoration, but... Okay, I don't know why it said it wouldn't give him that. Weird. Okay, anyway... Before we start handing out items and everything, I need to sell all the garbage loot that I've picked up. So let's see. Sell that. Sell that. Grace of Peace. +1 cold iron kukri. No one uses a kukri. Sell the composite longbow since we have masterwork. Sell the bardiche, regular light crossbow, cold iron rapier, masterwork dagger. Abrupt force scimitar. Nobody uses that. Dark horn glaive. Nobody uses that. Cold iron masterwork longsword. We're fine. Nobody uses a throwing axe. Masterwork falchion. Composite longbow. Cold iron masterwork scimitar. Regular dagger. Decimation bardiche. Don't need that. Don't need that. Armor-wise, get rid of the chain shirt, the buckler, the banded mail. I'll check those in a bit. Nobody's going to use the lesser kinetic diadem. That's fine. These are all fine. Those are notable. And I don't need any of these books. Yeah, the books are all relatively useless. Those have no value, so there's no point in it. And I'm gonna sell some of this ale as well. There we go. And a load of money. Now, let me move everything up. Little reorganization. Takes a minute or two, but it does kind of need to be done. You go there, you go there, you go there. Okay, that's all those things. Scrolls all go up here. You will go up in there. Oh, wrong thing. And that's... Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. And then we have all of these items. Midnight Bolt. You know what? We do kind of need to hold on to those, so I'll keep this down here. And then we have all these weapons. Let's see. You can't really wear anything. You can't use a Masterwork Composite Longbow. You can't wear any armor. I'll give you the club with nails, so if you need to bash someone in the face, you can bash someone in the face. Not that you have any intention to. As for you, if you need a melee, you've got a Cold Iron Short Spear, so there's something. And a Wand of Remove Disease for the sake of having it. You can wear armor. Dexterity bonus of 3. You know what? I'll give you this for now. The rest of this is not useful for anyone, I don't think. The hide armor would actually... Well... Yeah, you can keep it. Okay. And is anyone going to use the Masterwork Composite Longbow? Well, you can take this instead of the regular. You've got the Wicked Longbow. You've got the Entrapping Longbow, and the rest of you can't use. I will take it. There we go. And the remainder here we can all sell. So boom, 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 boom. And there we go. And one more thing that I want to do. This personal chest is something I personally own, and I can put anything in here, and it'll basically be kept as mine. So, all of these things that I don't necessarily need anymore, including all these books. There, that'll all go in there. That's perfectly fine. I'll hold on to that, hold on to that, and there we go. Okay. Now that that little management is dealt with, we have companions to speak with and quests to turn in. Let's start. Camellia, you don't have anything to say. I think we may need to speak with a Nevia. No, not a Nevia. How about you, Irabeth? I thank you for saving the esteemed citizens of Canabris, even though not all of them deserved to be saved. May Iomade forgive my words. Irabeth casts a meaningful look at Count Terende, sitting at a nearby table. I don't really mean that, of course. I just never fail to be astounded by the way that good people seem to perish, while the not-so-good prove to be incredibly, amazingly enduring. Even so, the Count did offer me his aid. He can't be all that bad. Yes, that's not like him at all. Joining the Crusades is a tradition among Mendavian nobles, but Daeran Arende was never too keen on fighting demons. The Count has a certain reputation in Mendev. He's not a pleasant individual by any means, but he's not known for any particular villainy either. The Count enjoys a life of leisure surrounded by a gaggle of sycophants, who are always eager to badmouth the Queen at his command. He likes settling scores, too. There was a hero of the First Crusades, Sir Lant, a kind and honest man. After the end of his glorious career as a soldier, he became a wise mentor to the younger generation. He ran afoul of the Count somehow, perhaps by lecturing him about his idle lifestyle and a lack of purpose. When Sir Lant died, the Count managed to buy a portion of his estate and ordered the knight's helmet to be reforged into a chamber pot. And, of course, he didn't keep his little joke private. The Queen was particularly affronted by it because Sir Lant used to be her most loyal comrade in arms. I was there receiving an assignment from Her Majesty and witnessed the exact moment she found out about the helmet's fate. It's a small thing, but I could see the Queen's anguish at the travesty that had been made of her friend's legacy. That's what our Count is like as a person. And as for his talent for survival, do you know the story of Heaven's Edge? He was the only member of his family to escape with his life when the demons unleashed a magical plague at the Arende estate. Could you tell me more about the events at Heaven's Edge? I don't know all the details. It happened a while ago, back when I was a mercenary and had nothing to do with Canabris. I only know that there was a grand fete in honor of Daeran's birthday, and all his relatives were invited, along with a few other distinguished guests. Everyone died from a mysterious disease someone had unleashed on the estate, including the servants, the guards, and a number of clerics and paladins. But the young Count survived. Because of his healing ability, I suppose. Daeran does possess an unusually brilliant talent, even if the application of his skills leaves much to be desired. Why is he trying to provoke the Queen? Who knows? It could be some family matter. The Count is Her Majesty's cousin twice removed, or something like that. But I think he simply enjoys infuriating people. Crusaders and Iomede's servants especially. Thank you for telling me all this. My pleasure. I'm sorry you had to endure my grumbling. Watching those things happen to my city has put me in a foul mood. I found Jana Aldori like you asked. Yes, thank you. It's good to have her back. We need every fighter we can get. I suppose it's asking too much to want fighters that are sober as well. The Tower of Estrad has been cleared of demons. Great. The places where the demons have gathered need to be cleared one by one. Then they won't be able to stab us in the back when we take on the Grey Garrison. Thank you for your service. Alright. And I did just think of something else I need to do. Spell book. Because we are going to be doing a rest here. You can cast at will. You... Let's see here. Mage armor. You've got color spray on you. Magic missile and snowball are decent to have. It's nice to have another magic missile. Vanish becomes invisible for a short time. Okay, that doesn't actually matter very much. More magic missile. It's very useful. And as for level 2, create pit. You have a mirror image. An acid arrow, and an invisibility. Not that I'm going to use them very much. You're an at-will. You know nothing. Do I want to change any of these? Probably. Mage armor is good to have. While Color Spray and Burning Hands are interesting, since he's gonna be more melee, I feel like Shocking Grasp would be better than Burning Spray. I'll let you keep Burning Hands. As for level 2... Mirror Image would again be useful. Since invisibility goes away so quickly, I feel like Blur would be more useful to you. As for you, you're fine with all the healing spells, and you're fine as well. Okay. You know what? Since we just spoke about Daeran, how about we follow up with another conversation with Daeran? The Defender's Heart is a splendid choice for the Crusade's outpost. The very sight of these walls brings back fond memories of drinks and revels. The drinks were really good, by the way. People say that you are deliberately trying Queen Galfrey's patience. Is that true? Does it even matter? All of Mendavian high society has declared war on me. They either despise me or they're trying to steer me back onto the right path, and I'm doing everything in my power to keep them on their toes. I relish the prospect of all the fun this mess in Canabras will bring. I shall either commission a song about the great Canabras fiasco from a certain talented bard, or confuse the jewelers with a rather tall order, a batch of silver dragon toys with detachable heads. Give me a week and they will be in every shop in the capital. The heroic dragon who died for our future deserves respect, not your mockery. She's dead, she doesn't really care, and I shall enjoy 3 or 4 minutes of rather pleasant thoughts about the rage of those sanctimonious fools who pestered me the most. May I ask you for a few personal questions? Oh, you can try. I've heard stories about the tragedy that befell your family. I hope you don't feel obliged to offer me your insincere condolences on this unfortunate occasion. My whole family, my entire noble line, they all died, and demons are to blame. It's not like I actually loved any of my relatives except for my mother, but what's gone is gone. The family crypts are full of corpses, all covered in dust and shadows of the past. What do you cherish most in life? Oh, there are far too many things that I cherish to fit them all into a single conversation. Believe it or not, but I might be one of the most life-loving people you've ever known. Daeran smiles. His eyes are gleaming with something different from his usual impudence and irony. There's a dreamy air about him all of a sudden. I rarely meet anyone who embraces the joys of living as enthusiastically as myself. There are so many exciting and beautiful things in the world, it should be illegal to waste your time on anything you do not enjoy. And I am not afraid to repeat that to anyone's face, should it be Discari and his demonic herd, or Iomade the Lightbringer herself. What do you hate the most? The feeling of helplessness, the lack of control over my own life. Daeran replies without thinking. Then he adds with obvious sarcasm, and onion rings, of course. I'd murder the person who came up with those abominations. Hey, onion rings aren't that bad. You don't seem especially keen on helping people, but your knowledge of healing is truly impressive. What prompted your interest in that? If you really want to try out everything life has to offer, you also have to understand how to deal with the consequences. And I'm not talking about a simple hangover, mind you. Had a bad encounter with a bit of BDSM gone wrong, did you? Do you have any good stories about your past exploits? Oh, I've got plenty, but I have to warn you that even the most outrageous debauchery sounds far less thrilling when you were not the one doing the debauching. Since you asked, I suppose the worst mess I've ever gotten myself into was when I staged my own kidnapping. I was once in correspondence with one of the Riverlands nobles, the young Lord Lebeda, and he told me about his days as a hostage to a group of bandits. This made me wonder what it would be like, and I thought that it might be fun to set up a little experiment. I engineered my own kidnapping by a certain gang through a chain of intermediaries and hired actors. Those fellows took the job very seriously. They caught me by surprise, killed my 2 bodyguards, and even tied me up. Of course, the whole thing seems preposterous now, but it seemed like an ingenious idea at the time. The employers had told the kidnappers that they were to keep me safe and sound, and another group of mercenaries in disguise was watching the spectacle from afar, ready to interfere in case anything went wrong. It turned out to be a terrible idea nonetheless. It wasn't the least bit fun or exciting. Sure, those bandits had been unable to torture or hurt me physically in any way, but they had plenty of other non-invasive methods of humiliation in their arsenal. Taking almost all of your clothes off and splashing ice-cold water all over you, for example. Ugh, I can't even remember if I said anything truly offensive to provoke them. Even though I initially planned to let them go after the ransom, their overly emotional reactions made me change my mind. I told my mercenaries to hang them all on the spot. I suppose the whole ordeal taught me a valuable lesson, which is that I am not built for hardships and trials. Wait, you just told me that a couple of your bodyguards died during the staged kidnapping. Does that mean 2 innocent people lost their lives so that you could have a bit of fun? Daeran pales a little, but not out of shame. Oh, spare me. It irks me beyond all measure when I hear about the suffering of innocents. Ah, yes, the bodyguards died. Guarding nobles is a dangerous job. They were aware of the risk. I don't really see a problem with that. Besides, they proved their incompetence. They would have stood no chance against real kidnappers. These mind games of yours will come back to bite you sooner or later. I hope not. I enjoy myself, I enjoy my life, and I'd like to keep this going for as long as possible. So that was a stupid story, and now I'll tell you a truly brilliant one. Prelate Hallrune had always strictly prohibited any public celebrations in Canabras, and he always picked on me for my lack of respect for the fallen and whatnot. His grumbling annoyed me so much that one day I drove 4 barges into the city harbor and set up a celebration on their decks. The ships on the river didn't fall under the prelate's jurisdiction, you see, so all he could do was snarl at me from the embankment. I, for one, did not forget the old boy. The main attraction of the festivities involved an Inquisitor of Iomade dancing and roasting beautiful witches on illusory bonfires, taking off his clothes with every new victim. The spectacle was so heated, in every sense of the word, that the prelate almost had a stroke. Daeran gives you a mischievous smile. I still consider that one of my finest ideas of all time. Should the Crusaders ever succeed in their efforts against the World Wound, I will do my utmost to get permission to hold a grand public celebration. Rivers of wine, free of charge, an obligatory parade, and a carnival in the evening. A contest for the most provocative succubus costume with a hefty prize in gold. Another contest where the participants have to fish a sausage out of the wine jar, blindfolded, with their hands tied behind their backs. The wine will symbolize the blood of all the dead heroes of the war, and the sausage... well, they'll find a heroic meaning for that as well. Over the years, the commemoration of the greatest victory of light over darkness will turn into an ordinary holiday, a fine excuse to get sloshed and rut like animals in the streets.
Daeran, you are a hell of a person. Do you enjoy being mean to everyone?
Yes.
And here I thought you were hurling insults at people purely by accident.
Daeran laughs. This time his smile is surprisingly soft. I like your way with words. What did you expect me to say if I wanted to make a good impression? Something along the lines of, I'm not mean, I'm just being honest with myself and everyone else? That's what people use as an excuse when they want to keep up their saccharine facade while still saying whatever nasty little thoughts spring to mind. That is not what I do. I have no hidden agenda, I'm just as much of an insufferable prick as I seem to be. Some people are simply begging for a good dose of mockery, so who am I to deny them? I don't give a damn if anyone holds a grudge against me, which is why I don't even try to avoid it.
No more questions.
I hope this conversation was at least the slightest bit amusing.
I'd like to talk about life in Mendiv and the Crusade.
Ask, I'm all ears.
What's your opinion on Mendiv today in general?
It doesn't exist. It's a frontier country that has attracted every utopian, adventurer, and fanatic from all over the world for more than a century. It is a place where the strangers outnumber the locals, especially in the cemeteries. The population in Mendiv, for the most part, consists of humans and other races not exactly known for their longevity, so the current generation of Mendavians were born in the shadow of the World Wound and raised by the Crusades. I might be the last person to complain about the decline of traditions and lack of character in our country, but I also happen to come from one of Mendev's most ancient lineages. Its history is bred deep in my bones. My tutors told me stories about my heritage. The galleries, libraries, and even the inheritors of the manors I grew up in were filled to the brim with memories of events long past. There are many heroes of old Mendev among my glorious ancestors, or at the very least patrons and contemporaries of such heroes. Does anybody actually remember them now? I don't think so. These days Mendev has its own heroes in shining armor and with holy fire in their eyes. I myself remember how several streets that once celebrated my ancestors were renamed in honor of some crusaders who had died in heroic fashion. None of the citizens remember the old crossing festival that was eventually replaced by our mass. These holidays even share the same date. Pretty much the only authentic thing about Mendev now is its endless war with the demons. And is there a point in bemoaning the state of affairs? What's gone is gone, but at least we are no longer some tiny godforsaken northern kingdom. And that's something, isn't it? You don't really like crusaders, do you? Quite the opposite. When I think about how many devoted heroes are willing to protect this world against a demonic threat, I feel so inspired. Inspired to continue indulging my vices while they fight to keep me safe. Imagine being someone like me. Someone who has everything they can possibly desire. Youth, beauty, wealth, an honest wish to live and enjoy living. But vanishingly few ways to put it all to any use. The fact that the word fun itself is not yet outlawed in Mendev must be due to some bureaucratic oversight. You can celebrate your victories solemnly, you can wet your whistle after a challenging battle, but what about real fun, joys, pleasures? I can't remember a single evening at court without someone chastening me for my banquets, my lovers and mistresses, my luxuriant clothes, my everything. It would have been a lot easier to tolerate all these hypocrisies if they took a break once in a while. Instead, there was a constant fuss about how I wasn't doing anything for the greater good, and how I only brought shame to my royal cousin. What do you think of our enemies? Do you mean the demons themselves, or their followers? The former deserve to be cleansed with heavenly fire for their unholy origin alone, and the latter for their idiocy. I don't understand why a sane person would submit themselves to Discari or Cabriri. Alright, Lady Nocticula almost seems like a bearable enough mistress, yet there are so many other cultists. They've tried to recruit me twice already, and I'm not even that old. First, a very pretty tiefling girl tried to seduce me, then they came with promises of Lord Baphomet's endless boons. I still wonder what exactly the old hornhead could offer me that I don't already have. You know what I've been thinking? Every shopkeeper knows this trick. An enticing offer along the lines of 1 in every 100 buns from my bakery contains a silver coin. And, of course, a hired actress to make a memorable show of finding said coin in a sweet roll. And there you have it. Hundreds of gullible fools storm the shop hoping to win the prize for themselves. I think the infamous Aurelu Vorlish was such an actress for the Lords of the Abyss. A pretty Sarkorian witch who became the uncrowned queen of the Worldwound, waited upon hand and foot by demon lords. Only instead of visiting a bakery, the gullible fools rushed to join the cultists. We have an army of unbelievably powerful supernatural invaders from another dimension hell-bent on destruction and domination. And what do these fools do? They serve them willingly as pawns and lackeys, hoping against hope that someday their masters will notice them. You won't believe how delighted I am to be so vain and self-absorbed. These sins protect me against demonic temptation better than any virtue. Arguably so. What made you want to join my party, after all? You mean instead of carousing far away from Canabras with a small army of mercenaries to protect me? I will get to that. You see, when you appeared at my door out of nowhere, awash with bravery and heroism, and started tossing demons around like rag dolls, I thought that your company might be more exciting than my usual crowd of sycophantic hangers-on. You seemed competent and mysterious at the same time, so I decided that a little demon hunting wouldn't hurt, especially with such an intriguing entourage. That party had been growing staler with every passing second anyway. Needless to say, I'm not here for long. I shall return to the capital, or even one of my country estates as soon as we reclaim the city. Crusades, bellowing commanders, row upon row of identical tents. This is not the life for me, but I will certainly remember you and our adventures together. For a week, or perhaps even longer than that. I should go then. Alright, and with that, I am going to go ahead and end this episode here. Next episode, we have some others to talk to. Ember, Nenio, and the Storyteller. But that'll be in the next episode. So until then, I am Chester44, also known as Fly. That is me. This has been a Let's Play of Wrath of the Righteous, and I shall see you all next time.